no? So there are 30 students online. We might as well start. Um, we are going to start with our new topic, which is called human development. This is very important because this will give us a little bit of a glimpse on what's happening on every stage of development, right? From childhood up to later adulthood and old age. Human development is found or can be found in chapter 5 of your required textbook. So if you have time, please browse on chapter 5 of the required textbook. Okay, so let's move. All right. These are our learning outcome. No, we're going to look into human development in different dimensions, that like perceptual, physical, social, emotional, and cognitive, as well as moral aspects of development. No, there are so many psychological and sociological theories pertaining to this. So we're going to look into that in order for us to be equipped in understanding every stage of human development. We look also in distinguishing growth and development and trace the sequence of stages in the human life cycle. And also, we'll be able to identify the developmental tasks. We're going to look into that, no? Especially focusing on Erik Erikson and Sigmund Freud. Tasks on each human being undertaken according to the theories of Freud, Harry Stack-Sullivan, and at the same time Erik Erikson, as I mentioned to you earlier. And of course, we're going to relate the concept of human development in understanding patients, especially children, for understanding their psychology, right? Now, let me ask you one thing. How do you differentiate growth and maturation? Can you tell me the difference between the two? How are we going to mature? How are we growing? Anybody can actually tell me their guess or their answer or their idea about growth, the difference between growth and maturation?
The difference between maturation and growth?
Yes.
As a human being or
as a human being? We are looking into human beings as always.
Maturation? Okay.
Yeah, okay, anybody can answer.
Growth is physical while maturation is mental.
Okay. So
yes.
we keep on. Yes, you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that.
All right. That's the reason we keep on telling you are immature or I'm mature enough. Is that what you mean? When you say I'm mature enough, what do you mean by that? Or you are
mentally.
Immature? Mentally?
And physically too.
Physically too. Yeah. What about growth?
Growth is that
come on, you know that. You look into physical aspect. You have an idea already what growth is, right?
Yeah.
It's something with the physical, like how do plants grow?
Growth is like the age, whereas maturation is the growth of your mental health or your mental understanding.
You have an idea, right? You see, growth is just actually addition. What is the meaning of addition? You keep on multiplying, so you are actually increasing the volume of your body, right? When you see you're growing, you're increasing in terms of volume. Just like what's actually, just like what's happening with your cell. From 1 to 2, then it keeps on multiplying. That is actually the meaning of growth, isn't it? Right? So that is to say, you are actually multiplying in terms of the number of cells. You know for a fact that you came from the addition of the two cells, right? The egg cell and the sperm cells, isn't it? Right? When you're going to combine that together, you can actually come out with one somatic cell that keeps on multiplying, right? If we are going to look at that on that matter, then the multiplication of the cell is actually characterized as growth. While maturation encompasses all the aspects of human being, right? As you mentioned, psychological. We'll not be focusing only on psychological. We look also into emotional aspect. We need to look also on religious aspect, on the moral aspect of being. So that's how we are going to look at it, okay? So anyway, we will look into that as we go on. Now, in order to fully understand the behavior of each patient, the patient that you are going to encounter in the future, you will not be choosy anyway. Anybody can actually be your patient. We must always go back in the process of understanding growth and development. There is always the concept of growth and development. There is always the concept of maturation. Come to think of it, no? As an individual, why is it that I am different from you? Because I am more mature from you, and at the same time, I am older than you. So that means to say, something happened within my body that makes me different from you. That makes me different from children. Okay? That makes me different from others. Right? We have to understand that, no? It is an established concept in psychology that behaviors are learned during the growing years. Now, I really would like to focus on this, and this is actually very important, no? That behaviors are learned during the growing years. There is a specific concept here. The behavior could have been established at the age of 7. So it's very crucial. From 0 to 7 years of age, your behavior could have been improved, you could have been developed. Now we are looking into a very wider concept of what we call as personality. We look at behavior as a part of your personality. If we're going to look into the work of Sigmund Freud, he pointed out that personality could have been developed at the age of 7. So it's very crucial. Yeah, somebody was trying to tell something a while ago.
Yeah, doctor, sorry to interrupt you, but I think you're still in the second slide.
Mm-hmm.
Did you move to the...
Yeah. This is just an introduction, okay? First slide. So we have to understand now the growth and development. As I mentioned to you, now on this first paragraph, I mentioned here that the behavior...
No, I mean, when you start moving to other side, just tell us, because sometimes the PowerPoint stops and it's not even working.
On your part. Okay, yeah, okay. So anyway, just listen and take down notes, no? I am on the second slide right now. I'm looking at 2 paragraphs here. I am actually pointing out a very important description about behavior by Sigmund Freud. That is, behaviors are learned during the growing years. From 0, what is the meaning of growing year? From the time you were born up to 7 years. In fact, other psychologists would always point out also that we include the growing years inside the mother's womb. You know, if we are going to look at the development of an individual, particularly physical aspect and the biological one, once that we have already reached what we call as the peak on the development of human organs, then that could be very functional. So at 7 months to 9 months, you all know for a fact that all your organs inside have been fully developed. That means to say you are still in your mother's womb. Therefore, you could hear, you could actually see. That's why a lot of mothers are actually letting the children listen to music, because a lot of psychologists would actually espouse that the child could actually listen to any word or any music or any sound that they could actually hear, just because of one reason, that all the senses could have been functional inside the mother's womb. That is before delivery, that is below 0. When we point out 0 is from delivery up to 7 years of age. As I was pointing out, psychologists also pointed out that in fact, experience of an individual could actually be before 0, before childbirth. Why? Because most of the organs that could have been developed before delivery are already totally functioning. Okay? A lot of people are telling, no, you cannot see inside the mother's womb. Of course you can see, because your organ is already functioning. Of course you can hear, because your organ is already functioning. So that's actually the idea behind that very concept. But if we're going to look on the totality of the work of Sigmund Freud, he was actually telling this, no? This is actually a very important concept, that the child is actually accumulating all these experiences so that his personality could have been developed at the age of 7. It's very crucial. The type of personality that you are displaying now, this is the implication of the first paragraph. The type of personality that you are displaying now could have been a byproduct of your experiences when you were before 7. You see? So what is the meaning of this? If you are very likable, if you are easily forgiving, if you are intelligent, if you are, let's say, very understanding, then you could have experiences that could have been associated with this type of behavior that you are displaying now. It could have been shown when you are at the age of 7. If you're going to examine children right now, it has some connection to this, right? Why? If you are very, very loving to children below 7 years of age, the tendency is that these children will be very loving later on when they grow old. But if you are very harsh to children below 7, then they have the tendency to become harsh also when they reach your age, when they will become mature. This is actually very important here. That's the reason why later on we are going to look into the different stages of development according to Sigmund Freud. We are going to identify his stages, and we can always connect into this paragraph. Always take note. Based on this, and according to Sigmund Freud, the behavior, the personality of the child, the totality of the behavior of the child, of any person, could have been developed during the growing years, and that is on 7, below 7, or from 0 to 7. Now, all experiences, including frustrations, and in terms of Sigmund Freud, fixations, that is the unmet needs, will define who the person really is. So that's why we are going to be very careful in handling children, isn't it? That human as we are, sometimes we keep on poking joke with children, no? We keep on making jokes out of them. We are making fun out of them. We have to be very careful on this, no? Sometimes if the child is actually very hostile already, the more that we would like to irritate them, the more that we would like to fix them, no? You know what I mean? We irritate them so much that they would actually become angry, very, very angry. And as innocent as we are, we think that it does not make any difference to children. But you know what? Based on studies, it really will make some differences on children, because it will stick there. They can express their anger, but the anger also remains inside. And eventually, that will stick to them. That will become a part of their experience, so that when they will become adult, it will actually go back. They will go back to that particular experience when they were frustrated, when they were angry, when they were irritated in the past. All right? This is actually very important, no? All the experiences that we have, positive or negative experiences, it could have some actually, let's say, influence on our future selves. That's why we are going to be very careful, no? If you promise something to children, make it sure that you are going to give. You see? We keep on promising to children, but unfortunately sometimes you don't give. It sticks to their mind. Sometimes they're going to develop sense of distrust. See? That's why we developed the aphorism called promises are meant to be broken.
Doctor,
Yeah.
which slide are you in right now?
It's still number 5.
5? What? No.
Number 5, you look at the page there.
We
Number
are
5
still
on
in
the right
slide
side.
2.
In the second slide.
We're still in second slide?
Yes, I told you that when you want to move to another
Okay.
slide, tell us.
Now, let's see what. I will actually unshare and then
Okay.
reshare it. Okay. Yeah. I will open again that slide. I'm very sorry. No, I thought that I was actually on the same line with
It's
you.
okay.
Okay. So here it is. I'm opening the slide again. It is moving on my side, but it doesn't move on your side. All right.
Yes, it's something common within the teachers.
Yeah. Okay. So present now. I will present slide number, this one. Okay. Can you see now? Slide number 5. There is fixations there now.
Yes, we can see
Page
slide
5.
number 5. But now, if you
Oh.
want to move to slide number 6, we can't see it.
Okay. So as I mentioned, all experiences that you have could actually be very important in shaping what you are right now. So the experiences that you have in children. So later on, you're going to become parents. It's very crucial that we have to give everything to our children at the age of 7 or below. You see, this is in the context of Sigmund Freud. Can you see? The next slide? Periods of development.
No,
You do not?
no.
How is that?
Yes, now, yes. Just keep it as it is now. Don't make slide sharing or slideshow, I mean.
Really?
Yes, don't
There's a problem
slideshow.
with showing with slideshow?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Now, in human development, we're going to look into these 4 facets, no? The 4 facets of growth. These are the following things that we have to study. Psychological, that I already started with the introduction. Emotional, this is very important, no? Because these have been, the emotional aspect of human development have been focused on shaping who we are and what we are. And then, of course, biological, we have to look into that also. And then motor developments, okay? So along that line, these 4 periods of development will be the main focus. So let us try to start with the first one on biological, all right? We have prenatal. I am going to tell you later on why is it that before the delivery of a baby, the child could already have functioning senses or sense organs, no? So let's try to look into prenatal period. Can you see prenatal period here?
Yes, prenatal
This one?
period. Yes, yes.
All right. So from concept to birth, conception to birth, you know this already, no? This is a time of tremendous growth from a single cell to an organism complete with the brain and behavioral capabilities produced in approximately 9 months. In prenatal, that is before natal. Natal means birth. When you say pre, before birth, this is actually transformation that is actually happening inside the mother's womb. You know what's happening inside the mother's womb, isn't it? Where one single cell or where one cell, somatic cell, is actually multiplying and replicating itself in order to produce a complex organism. As I mentioned to you earlier, women produces egg cell, right? We call that as oocyte, and men produces sperm cell. We call that as spermatocyte. Both of the two are classified. They are produced on a process called meiosis, right? Therefore, their cells are actually having or containing 1/2 of the required chromosomes. That is 23 and 23. If we're going to combine them together, we are going to produce one complete human cell that contains 46 chromosomes, and we call this as a zygote. All right, that contains 46 chromosomes. So it keeps on dividing after its implantation from the uterine wall. It keeps on dividing until such time that it produces a very complex organism. That one will stay inside the mother's womb for approximately 9 months. So you carry the baby for 9 months. No? You nourish the baby for 9 months. Next period after prenatal is what we call as infancy. What is actually the meaning of infancy? That is the time when you are already delivered. No? The developmental stage where you are going to start from 0 up to 18 to 24 months of age. Now, I would like to point you about this 18 to 24 months of age. There is a differentiation in terms of maturation. Others would mature early, others would mature late. That's the reason why a person may go to the next stage. This is also good in psychological stages, like in the stages of Erik Erikson and Sigmund Freud. No? There is an early development. So therefore, at the age of 18, we are expecting that a person may actually have this, okay? Or at the age of 24. This is the time of extreme dependence upon adults. We are very independent because infants cannot take care of themselves. So there is psychological implication other than physical limitation that you will encounter. Definitely children are very dependent on adults. So this is where we are actually going to form our attachment. This is where we are going to form our relationship with the people who are actually taking care of us. You see? So many psychological activities are beginning during this period. That is your language. I will teach you, I will emphasize this, no? No individual is born who knows about their language already. That means to say, if you are both Arabic, if there is Arabic parents, don't expect that the child will become Arabic also. Or if the child is actually children of both Filipinos, don't expect that the child will speak Filipino also. Chances are sometimes they may not understand that. It depends on how you are actually communicating with them. If you want that the child, you try this experiment, no? If you want the child to speak pure English from the beginning, you try to talk to the child already in English. I'm telling you, 100%, they will not speak Arabic or they will not speak Filipino. They may not even understand Arabic. They may not even understand Filipino because the language that you communicate with them would actually be in English only. So during that time, it's very crucial that the child will learn how to speak a language because they need to communicate with adults. So that's why if you are actually going to consider hiring maids, you hire maids. If you really would like to have a child who is bilingual, you may hire maids who are actually talking in English, and once in a while you may communicate with children in Arabic so that they will understand Arabic also. You see? So they will pick up the language that you speak to them. They will understand that, no? They will try to figure it out. That's the reason why the first language that they would actually utter, the first word that they would actually utter would be Baba or Mama or Papa. Yeah, it depends on how you would like them to call you. You see? So you introduce yourselves as Mama or Baba, right? It depends. So they will call you Baba. That's the first word that they will actually utter. You will be surprised. During this period, from 0 to 18 months or 24 months, they can already speak a little bit of your languages. The language that you speak with them, that you utilize in order to communicate with them. During this time also, they will understand a little bit of symbolic thoughts because they are trying to make the word around them. Children may not understand everything, so they are trying to figure out. So there will be symbolic thoughts. They will understand that. They operate on recognition. They operate on trying to improve what they are actually seeing around them or hearing around them. They're trying to make symbols out of the experiences that they are experiencing around them. No? So they may also do sensory motor coordination. They try to balance themselves. They'll try to find out that the child will actually first know how to balance their torso, then their upper extremities, then their lower extremities. We look into that when we tackle John Piaget's theory, no, of cognitive development. Then, of course, they will learn a little bit of social learning, where the child will actually start to play. They will look into their playmates. They will look into some other person who would actually connect with them. Isn't it? At this stage, the child is still very lovely, where anybody or everybody would like to play with them, right? After 2 years, you really would like to have these children because they are so cute. Yeah. So they love to play with you. They love to play with other playmates around. When they see other people, they would like to play with that, right? When they see other people also, they try to communicate with you. Although they may not say a word, they may smile. They may get your attention by sounding off something that is actually a gibberish. No, that is incomprehensible word. Or simply they will just cry. Or they will just do something to get their attention or to get your attention. So in a way, they are social beings. They try to become social during this time. They try to play around with other human beings around them. And this is actually very important. No? I suggest you that you are going to expose your children with other children. See, some of the mistakes that we are actually doing this time is that we are overprotective with our children. We do not want them to get hurt. We do not want them to get dirty. You know, as a child, they can be hurt. They can actually be dirty also because they play on the ground. They play with anything, almost anything. You see? So we have to look into that, right? Moving forward, you can see now, number 8, early childhood.
Number 8? No.
Yes. All right. Now, after infancy,
Yes.
this you can see. Okay. After infancy, we will proceed to early childhood already. Now, what is actually the beginning of early childhood? Here in the infancy, we end from 18 to 24. Therefore, in the early childhood, we may start from 18 or 24. It depends on the development of the child, no? Up to 5 to 6 years of age. That's early childhood. When we consider the child to be a toddler already, a preschool age, no? All right? This period is sometimes called the preschool years, where the child is actually going to prepare to go to school already. So there are so many things that are going on here. Young children learn to become more self-sufficient. In the infancy, they are totally independent. They are totally dependent. But early childhood, these children would like to become independent. No, young children at this stage learn to become more self-sufficient. They try to get their own water. They try to go to the toilet on their own. They try to fix their beds and so on and so forth. Right? And of course, to care for themselves, no? They try to take a bath by themselves already, no? They develop school readiness because during this time, they already start recognizing numbers, letters, and they have already started recognizing shapes and colors also, no? So they are ready going to school. They are ready to go to school, no? They can easily follow instructions. You know what? But we are abusing these children, you know. They can easily follow instructions. Sometimes we can actually abuse because we give them instructions and they have to follow. Let's say, for instance, please give me that remote control. Please bring me water. We are doing this to our children, no? During this stage. Massage my foot. Scratch my back, you know. Get this and get that. We're actually making these children our maid, but they really would like to do that because they are trying to improve their responsibility and themselves, the ability to follow orders, no? They learn also how to identify letters, and very important, they are always trying to spend their times with the peers. Most of the time, they really want to play, right? 24 hours if they may, they really would like to play. They spend their plenty of hours with their peers playing. Okay? So this is actually very crucial on this stage, early childhood. Now going to the next stage, middle and late childhood. All right? This is from 5 to 6 to 11 years of age. We may start at 5 years or 6 years. No? The period extending from 6 to 11 years of age. What do we have here? The child goes to school already. This is sometimes called as the elementary school year. No? Now they are studying mathematics, reading, skills of writing, and arithmetic. No? So they will master, they know how to write. So transformation from not doing anything, not knowing what to do, up to the extent of knowing what to do already, knowing what to write. Of course, they learn their language as such during that particular time. That is on the middle and your late childhood, right? The next stage is adolescence. This is your stage, yeah? Where the developmental period of transition from childhood to early adulthood. What is actually the meaning of this one? You are in between a child and an adult. That's the reason why a lot of us are still confused whether we are children or we are adult already. So during this stage, this is otherwise known in Sigmund Freud's term as a stage where you are confused, stage of confusion. No? Are you on this stage? I believe so, no? Because some of you may think that you are still children, and sometimes you may think that you are already an adult. All right? Okay. Now, there is a dramatic gain in height and weight. You all of a sudden, there is some changes in your body. The boys also may develop some sort of Adam's apple, and there is the development of your tone, no? Your height and weight are changed. There is a change in your body contour also, and also there is a development of your sexual, secondary sexual characteristics, such as enlargement of the breast, development of hairs, and of course the deepening of the voice for the boys. All right, so that's adolescence. No, moving forward, early childhood, early adulthood. Now this is the time when you are more mature. There is no confusion. No, here you're trying to make your own life. Now, the developmental period beginning in the late teens, that is 19, or early 20s, and lasting through 30s. Maybe some of you will belong here, okay? This is a time of establishing your personal and economic independence. You try to become independent. It is assumed safely to say that you have already a profession of your own, or you are trying to make up your own profession. That's the reason why you are trying to become a dentist, just because of that, no? There is a time for your career development. You choose which profession you would like to engage with. And there is a time for selecting your mate, your husband, your wife, or maybe your lasting friends. And then maybe others would start a family and starting to raise children. This is during this time, early adulthood, up to 30s. No? So do not be confused between adolescence and early childhood. A lot of us do not recognize. We have to recognize this. No, we have to pass through stages. We have to look into what are the characteristics on every stage, so that we will not do what to do. We'll know what to do. Yeah. So sometimes we're always thinking, oh, that person is very successful. I admire him. Do not compare yourself to them, because they are ahead of you. They are ahead of you. There is no point of comparison. There will be a point that you will become like them. You see? Because your age gap is different. They went ahead of you. That is actually the implication. So we go by the stage so that we shall know our responsibility. Now, let's say, for instance, the transformation between adolescence and early adulthood. In adolescence, it's very typical that you are carefree. You really would like to enjoy life. You are also confused because the process of selecting a profession is actually going to be very difficult. But once that you reach this early adulthood stage, that will be the time that you will decide, I am going to become a dentist. You are going to be more definite in your choices. Adolescence, not definite. You may not know what you want. But when you are going to reach early adulthood, you are trying to focus on something. This is what I want. I'm going to have a car. But before I'm going to have a car, I should have a profession. After I have a profession, I will actually have my children, my wife or my husband already. I may build a very big house or a small house. It depends on what you want. Then eventually, I'm going to raise a family. During this time, you will be more responsible. You will be more definite in what you're going to do. So do not be in a hurry. At one point, you will reach this stage. Now, enjoy every stage of your life. This is actually what we are telling, because if you're going to follow these stages, there is an implication to what we are doing, right? Sometimes people are not very happy because we are looking always what is on the backyard of other people. But if you're going to compare their age, totally different, because these people are actually ahead of us. Now, what happens next? Middle adulthood. This time, more or less, you have your family. This time, more or less, you have your money. This time, more or less, you have your cars. So many cars as you wish, no? This time, you're already a doctor. You're calling yourselves a doctor already. This time, the Society of Dentists recognize your work already. Yeah? So here, the developmental period beginning approximately the age of 35, where you are more established, to 45 years of age and extending to the 60s. It depends, no? Now, it is a time of expanding personal and social involvement and responsibility. You join various community organizations. You join various professional organizations. You speak here and there. You try to help other people. You try to finance other, let's say, institutions, charitable institutions. You are also engaged in assessing the next generation in becoming more competent, mature individual. Why? You start with your family, because you are starting to raise your family, and during this time, your children may actually be growing already. So you are starting to direct them. You are starting to guide them, and the people around you, you are starting to help them. This time, you are not anymore selfish. This time is a time of giving. You see? Before that, the focus of attention will be I, me. This time is a time for us to give. We will become more mature individuals and of reaching and maintaining satisfaction in one's career. We will not ask for more because we will be very happy. We are satisfied with whatever is going on with our career. That's actually very different, no? You see, you have to look at that once and for all. You will reach this stage. I believe in United Arab Emirates, they recognize this fact. No? Why? Because the retirement stage is 45. I do not know, but I think I heard about that. No? That a person may be retired at the age of 45. Maybe you see, you are still young, but how are you going to proceed with your life? See, you keep on achieving. For what? You see? So this is the thing. You should enjoy your life once and for all. Because we are actually trying to find meaning. It's supposed to be you found meaning already. You found already your meaning of life during this stage. So it's a high time for you to give something to the society. Why? If you're going to go to the next stage, this is the last stage, late adulthood. What happens here? You are on the decline. See? Going back to what I have shown you from the beginning, you are growing and then you are going to be declining. What's actually going to happen to you when you reach this stage? Eventually, you will become very dependent. Here, you were born as very dependent to adults. This time, there will be a point that you will be dependent to your children. So that's the thing. Sir, you may ask, what is the best point in my life to enjoy my life? There is no such thing as this point. There is no such thing as best stage. Once that you recognize the need of every stage, you learn how to be satisfied in every stage. If you're going to look on the latest period, that is actually on your late adulthood, what is actually going to happen is very sad. No? Why? This is a time for adjustment of your decreasing strength and health. You will be complaining about your health already. You will be complaining about the decrease of your strength already. You cannot do anymore the things that we were doing earlier. I am telling you, everybody will reach this stage. There will also be a life review. What is the meaning of life review? You have to go back. You are trying to have a flashback because during this time you are not working anymore. You are retired. You are staying at home. You are not anymore. You think that you are productive. You are not anymore productive. During these last 2 stages when you were productive, but during this time you are not productive any longer, as if you are already a burden of the family. So what are you going to do? You are on your retirement. And of course, it is necessary for us to adjust to our new social role. Come to think of it, everybody will reach this stage. We have our grandparents. We know for a fact that our grandparents may actually be demanding us because they have also some need to be assured, need to actually be told that they did good. You notice that when you are with your grandparents, they keep on always telling you about what they did in the past, about who they were in the past, about all the things that they helped, all the people that they helped, all the things that they contributed that they did. This is actually contributing to what we call as their sanity, because during this time, they are actually reviewing their life's work or else they feel so useless. That's the reason why if you're going to come along with the statistics of suicide, a lot of people are committing suicide during this stage just because of this reason. They will actually look into themselves as if they did not do anything in the past. They were useless in the past. Do not regret this, when you're going to be like them. When you will be like them, I'm always telling my students that you should actually be very happy and very proud that you were able to contribute to society. Therefore, on every crucial stage of human development, you should do your best. You, on your adolescent stage, you should actually clear out your confusion. You should know what to do. You should know how to select profession so that when you are going to proceed with your next stage, you know already that you're very happy with the choice that you have. Do not keep on regretting all the things that you did in the past. I could have been a very good doctor. I could have been a very good psychologist, but you did not. So you should be very happy with what you have. Actually, that's very important and that's very crucial. No, I really would like you to understand this. I really would like you to review on your life's purpose, on every single achievement that you could actually have on every stage of development. Okay? So, any questions so far? Do you understand this? Do you understand what I'm trying to drive at? Any question?
No, doctor.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So you are going to classify yourselves as adolescents, right? How do you classify? Is it early or adolescents still? What do you think? You know, adolescents, sometimes you're childish, sometimes you're adult. That is why you call it adolescence, no? Sometimes you think like adults, sometimes you think like children. So there is a period of confusion between the two. And that's actually the reality of your age group, no? So it's very crucial that we have to look into every stage of human development so that we will understand. That's why when you're going to have a patient who cries a lot in your hospital or clinic to be, don't mind them, understand them because they are children. We keep on telling always that they are children. You see. So when you see people who are very assertive, we can understand them because they are on early adulthood. Or, you know, on the middle adulthood, if you're going to look into the next stage on the middle adulthood, these people are very kind, you know, because they're willing to assist. See the description. Here they are very assertive. No, I am what I am. I know all my stuff. I am a very good dentist. Yeah, I would be the best on what I could do during this time. No, because they learn already how to assert. They already have already established the lives and their practice. But on the next stage, on the middle adulthood, they are a little bit kind already. You see, there is a transformation already. Why? Because it turns out that they can or they would like to help other people to become what they could be, like your parents. See, your parents, if they belong to their state, to this stage, they are kind already to other people. They are kind to you, or they will be kind to you. But once that they are going to reach the late adulthood, it will be another story. When they will become very dependent on us, truly, you see, there will be a point that they are going to contemplate, what did I do wrong? You see, they will be at home. You can imagine, no, about what's actually happening when they are at home doing nothing. What do you think will happen to you? You see, what do you think will happen to them? They will contemplate about so many things. They are going to live a life of regret, and they would rather kill themselves other than committing a life of regret eventually. All right? I think I have to stop here. I encourage you to read chapter 5 of James Calat textbook. You have the textbook already, right? You download it, isn't it?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I will put up the video tonight, the video today. Then I put up also this PowerPoint. Okay, so I'll keep you posted. Don't worry. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes,
when is going to be the quiz?
that is the thing that we have to look into. I am
Because
going to.
doctor, many doctors are arranging the days for the quizzes.
Yeah, I'm going to arrange with Miss Karen. Chances are it will be on the first week of March. Now, I'll give
First week of
you.
March. Okay, good.
Hopefully, it will be on the first week of March. Then I'll try to clear out. No, because you see, there is a memo coming from the president and examination. I do not know. So they give us only for 2 weeks. All examinations will be online. I do not know what happens next. No, either they are going to allow us online or UMS.
Okay.
So I'm still going to look into that. And in fact, I'm still thinking about your assignment also. You see?
Okay. Yes, but we don't want to pressure ourselves because we are going to have CA on 28th of February.
Yeah, CA.
Yes.
Before 28th, then we're going to have the schedule.
Okay.
Because CA, chances are I'm going to give you a quiz on introduction and on chapter 1 only.
Like 2 lessons.
2 lessons only. This one I will not include. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So if you really would like to go ahead, to be ahead of others, study the first 2. No.
The first 2. Okay.
The first 2. Study the first 2. I will not include this. Don't worry. Yes, I really would like you to pass. Okay.
Thank you so much, doctor.
All right. Then I think for your attendance, please try to write your ID number before I'm going to close this. Try to write your 2 digits ID number and write present, because that is also recorded. Okay. I just got the meeting at 2:30. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, doctor. Bye bye.